Em Rusciano and Michael Lucas.
Oh my God, I can't wait. It's happening. It's happening.
This is Emsulation.
The internet lost its collective mind.
She is choosing to focus on the one time in history where one of her conspiracy theories actually was correct, except for Trump being elected.
What are you saying? He has erectile dysfunction?
Don't know.
I'd get on board with that theory.
You're in Emsulation.
Welcome, everyone, to episode 1 of Emsulation. I'm oddly nervous. I don't know why. It's just me sitting in my son's old nursery, hunched in the corner, but I feel butterflies. Look, I really hope that this is something that you can put in your ears to help block out the noise of the world, or at the very least your family. My best friend Michael is going to be joining us shortly, as will my husband Scott. But at the start of each episode, it's just going to be me and you, two pals chewing the fat. As I said, I'm sitting in Elio's old nursery. We actually moved his cot into our room and put a TV in there this week. So there's two things guaranteed to spice things up in the bedroom between Scotty and I. I'm sitting on a green velvet couch looking out the window. I'm wearing a chunky knit and a red lip. Can you visualise it? Well, if you can't, I've of course put a photo up on Instagram because I'm needy like that. So first thing I'm going to do is ask you, how are you? Are you good? Are you bad? Are you exhausted? Because I am finding myself swinging violently between all three. Are you? Last night I couldn't sleep, which is becoming a regular occurrence for me, and I decided to go to Facebook and purge all the sticky thoughts keeping me awake. You know, and a midnight Facebook rant for me usually results in a deletion from at 6 a.m. because I regret it. But I have to say I found thousands of you awake as well, and I lay awake last night feeling less alone, reading that you're all feeling the same way I do. And I don't know if you've done this, but I've stupidly delegated myself the mood monitor, and I feel like I'm responsible for keeping everyone around me happy and buoyant. And then when it comes time to sleep, I'm worn out and miserable, dead on the inside. Well, I'm dead on the inside a lot of the time, but I roll that in glitter. When this all started, I had romantic visions of what I thought family lockdown would look like because, I bloody love a theme, you guys. Give me a theme and I'll create a mood board in my head and run with it. Isolation chic, you say? Sure. Let me gather some wholesome activities and clean the house and cook dinner by 6 o'clock each night. I even bought self-raising flour and yeast, you guys. I don't know what I thought I was going to do with them, but they kind of seem to fit my theme. But in reality, a lot of my family lockdown time is us all in noise-cancelling headphones sitting at opposite ends of the house. So what I'm trying to say today on Ep 1 of Emsulation, you can't lock down glitter, is that there is no right way to do lockdown, my darlings. You can't beat yourself up if you've been wearing the same PJs for 3 days. Look, maybe change your undies. Maybe turn them inside out. Maybe a little bit of Febreze down there. Just freshen the juts. You don't want some stale smells wafting up. That really wrecks your day. And you know what? There's a daytime jammy and maybe there's a nighttime jammy now as well. Just change it up. Just the little things. Don't worry if you're eating cereal for dinner. And yes, maybe your kids are in the double digits of screen time, but that's okay. I also just want to ask the people doing the at-home workouts to calm down. Have you been seeing this on Instagram, on Facebook? I mean, good for you guys, great for them. But for God's sake, can you not post about it? Or get back to me in a few weeks and let me know if you're still as pumped about doing pumped in your wardrobe. Are these people really doing the whole workouts or just the bit they're videoing? My only fitness advice to all of you today is to do something outside each day. Just get outside. And when the homeschooling starts, and oh my God, we'll be discussing that next week because I am responsible for my middle child's education now. That is a terrifying thought. But I'm deciding I'm going to take her to the school of life because I sure as shit will not be focusing on anything maths related. Will my child learn Pythagoras' theorem? No, friends. But will she be able to break down the unrealistic expectations Disney places upon young women and how the blonde characters are always the heroes and the brunettes the evil queens? Yes, she will. But seriously, think about that. I've been thinking about that. In Tangled, which is based on Rapunzel, when Rapunzel's hair is magic, it's blonde. And then when she cuts it, it loses its magic and turns brown. Screw you, Disney. What kind of message is that sending all the little brunette boys and girls out there? Do you know who else had that theory, my friends? Hitler. Yeah. She's got her groove, guys. She's already on her rants about Disney. lock in, strap up, get ready for more of that. And on that note, it's probably time that I bring in my very best friend since I was 11, Michael Lucas. He is a screenwriter. He wrote the first 5 seasons of Offspring. He writes 5 Bedrooms. He's my go-to guy. He's the person I call when anything really good or really bad happens to me. I call my husband second, I admit it, and Scott's happy for that. He's glad Michael takes the emotional tsunami that comes first. And I want you to know, as a precursor, before Michael gets to have a say, is that our lockdowns are looking very different.
Em Rusciano and Michael Lucas. This is Emsulation.
Hello, Michael Lucas.
Hello, Amelia Rossiano.
Here we are, a very own show, finally, after everyone saying, God, when are you guys doing a show together?
Really? Were people saying that?
No, I was. You've come in at a good time. I did just finish a bit of a spray on Disney and how they treat brunette women. So I think you've arrived at the very right time.
Oh, yeah, obviously stirs quite strong and conflicting feelings in me, so...
Now, look, it should be pointed out to everyone straight from the get-go that my lockdown looks very different to Michael Lucas's lockdown, doesn't it?
Yeah, black and white, polar opposites, good and evil. It's just...
Yeah, you're blonde and I'm brunette in rags with her weird sidekick just trying to get noticed, probably with a facial tick. Tell people what everyone, I want you to explain to the Emsulation audience what lockdown looks like for you.
Well, I think the headline's got to be, I have not spawned children. So that's the setting for the whole landscape. So basically, I don't know, we're talking 9-hour sleeps. We're talking reading weekend supplements, deciding which recipe you want to make. I mean, the house is very clean. We just sit there. We have long conversations about which show we want to binge watch.
You and your husband?
Yeah. I mean, it's just basically ceaseless. It basically is like our life has become the good weekend supplement and there's nothing else. I mean, obviously, like everyone, we still have stabs of anxiety and panic about what's happening in the wider world, but between these 4 walls... Look, it's pretty sweet. I'm not going to lie.
You actually text me, God, I have so much more energy now. I don't have to socialise and go out for dinners. I was like, shut your face, you bitch.
I have rediscovered sleep too. I really have. I've gone back to teenage level sleep. I did 9 hours last night, yeah.
What? I'm just like, obviously we are both handling what's going on in the world in very on-brand ways for us. So I know that you had an idea of how I would be handling it.
Rapid cycling through complete paralysed panic and trauma, and then the next minute singing a country song and painting your walls is basically, and then back and forth constantly, and panic buying, but not in supermarkets, online, drunk panic buying.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Look, I have the day drinking. I have now had to delegate week on wine, week off wine, because
I've done the same. First week was, or more accurately for me, gin week.
Yeah.
And then now this is rehab week.
Yeah, I'm off and on. I'm Lindsay Lohan 1 week, I'm Gwyneth Paltrow the next, and then back to Lindsay. But what I have been doing is, you're right, and you do know me very well, is online purchasing when I've had, a 11 a.m. rosé. And I have purchased something because my anxiety has been off its head, as you know, as everyone knows. And I happened to get targeted by an ad and, because our iPhones listen to everything we're talking about. And this is the ad I was targeted with. Have a listen.
You try to fall asleep, but anxiety and stress keep you awake. What you need is Calming Comfort by Sharper Image, the luxurious weighted blanket that helps you relax so you can fall asleep and stay asleep naturally.
I fell fast asleep and I slept through the entire night.
It felt like someone was wrapping their arms around me and I felt comfortable immediately.
Yes. Take my money. Take all of
compelling.
my money.
Were you, when you said your phone was listening to you, were you sitting there crying, clutching a gin, going, I want someone to wrap their arms around me?
Yes. And I just want 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep. And then this ad started playing and I stabbed my phone so hard I dropped it. I'm like, buy all of the calming blankets. So the weighted blanket arrived. I bought a 7 kilogram one. And
Is that on the high end of the...
No. 10% of your
yeah.
body weight, basically. So, and it arrived and it's full of glass beads. It's very heavy. And I lay down under it on night one. And initially, look, I'm not going to lie, I felt a little bit claustrophobic.
What about hot? Is it hot?
No, it's not hot because I got a cool one. I didn't get the minky one. I did like the idea of the minky one. I thought, minky, nice minky, but in the summer, can't use minky. So I got like a nice cotton one. I have to tell you, it does work.
Really?
It is comforting. So I have to tell you, I also purchased an adult swaddle.
It feels like you're trying to get back to the womb or something.
Oh, I would crawl straight up my mother's vagina yesterday if I could. Oh, there's a grab, guys. Grab that one. Jesus.
She might have a few issues with that. But
Probably. Yeah, no, I am feeling the need to be cocooned softly from all the harsh realities
is it
of
that
my
I
life.
thought, or is it that like you feel like the weight of the world's pressing down on you, and now you've managed to like find this physical manifestation of it? So you've taken it out of your head and go, it was right. I'm being
Yes.
crushed.
I feel maybe. All I know is it's bloody working, and I'm not affiliated with any calming blankets or anxiety blankets, but I will happily become the face of. If you're listening now, and this is your business, I'm your bitch. I will sit there, I will gently cry in the corner and rock, and then when it arrives, all of a sudden I want birds. I'm Snow White. I'm Sandy at the start of Grease. Okay, I'm a new woman with my anxiety blanket.
I love the legal disclaimer. Next time you do a show, you just have a man come on and go, M. Rossiano, not affiliated with calming blankets.
But I will be if you want me to be. The other thing that's been keeping me awake, well, not awake, but the thing that's been keeping me entertained, and I'm forced you to watch it, and every man and his dog's been talking about it, I know, but the world needs our take on it, let's be real. I'm, of course, referring to Tiger King, Michael, the Tiger King. And I had to keep bullying you to watch it.
All I saw was peroxide and kind of weird, intense people with teeth, and I don't know. I wasn't lured. But then of course I cracked in, and then it was like crack, and I thought, space this out, and then of course 7 hours later, done.
Oh, my God. Well, see, Netflix threw that at me probably 5 weeks ago as a recommendation. I got an email about it, so they know me very well. They saw sequins as day
And
wear.
what did they think of you?
They saw gay men. They saw peroxide mullets. They saw
desire
a lot
to
of guns.
kill your husband and feed them to white animal, and they thought, bingo, target audience.
I feel like I was the first email they sent when they downloaded the Tiger King to Netflix headquarters. That bitch in Australia, Em Rossiano, send that one immediately to her, just to her. I loved it so much, and there was so many parts that I took. But I wanted to focus down today more on the Carol Baskin's husband. For me, is the ideal husband.
The one that she didn't kill.
The one that
Legal
she
disclaimer,
didn't
she might have killed
allegedly.
him.
Yeah, allegedly fed to the tigers.
Yeah, if you could find a man like that. I have to say, though, I mean, but not, you wouldn't say in terms of, I don't know, physical attraction necessarily, but devotion.
I
He
don't
looked
care
a
for
lot
that.
older than her.
Oh, Joel, for sake, I'm 40 now. I don't care for physical attraction. I don't want him to touch me. I want him to tell me I'm pretty and sing me show tunes. And that's what he does. Guys, I don't
And
even
he's
think they
very
sleep in...
willing to pose in dress-up photos, clearly, which is also an essential element of any
Correct.
partner of yours.
Correct. And I don't think they necessarily sleep in the same leopard print themed bed, you know? And that's okay. That's the kind of companionship I want. You're always right. I'm slightly terrified of you. How can I help you? Here's a song. I'll stroke your hair. Here's a flower
I'm
crown.
a little bit worried that you're a murderer, but I'm just gonna toe the party line because devotion.
Totally. So if anyone's wondering, you know, who the unsung hero of the Tiger King is, it's not Joe Exotic. It's Carol Baskin's husband, whose name I can't even remember. He doesn't even get that much credit. But, yeah, that's what I've been doing. But you sent me a link the other day to the top 100 pop artists.
That for me, legit, was an entire day taken
Yeah.
care of because I love a list. We both love a list. We've been
do
known
love a
to lose days of our lives to compiling our top 10, top 100 lists of things. But that one, it was picking the number one pop star for every year from 1981 to 2019. So our entire lives. We're actually born earlier than that, but let's not mention that. But I loved all of them except for Lil Wayne. I don't know.
Yeah.
He was the only one that I felt like.
How many times did Flow Rider make an appearance?
Oh, well, if there were any, there were too many.
Because I always read these lists and I'm always shocked by how many hits Pitbull and Flow Rider have had.
Yeah, I know. And Australia is pretty on board with them, and it's startling. Not the Australia I know, but it's out there for sure.
For me, it's the chronic overuse of wearing suits, the daytime suit at a club. I don't get it. I don't understand. But I know that one of the artists that we've both been revisiting, and we want to encourage everyone, we're trying to help you be distracted, is Jagged Little Pill, Alanis Morissette. Because this was seminal. This album awakened the angry, masturbation is okay feminist in me,
Totally.
I have to say that's the album I really discovered my vision.
Also, when you look at the whole list, the two albums that really stand out as being different are Nevermind, Nirvana, and then Alanis, because they were so angry and so different to every other, your Britneys and your Justins.
Oh, I loved it.
That album.
Oh, my gosh, I know. Seminal. And it's just...
Have you listened to it again, though, recently?
Yes, because I wanted to go see her show.
Oh, there, 100%. It's for me, it's part of the whole sinking back to the teenage years thing that I seem to be experiencing right now, which is basically at home with too much time on your hands, angsting out. But I was surprised at how I found it quite hopeful and romantic when I listened. And I'm going to say innocent. I mean, I know she's talking about like going down on your lover in a theatre, but that's really only one song. By and large,
$1. By the way, I've never done that.
And also,
I've never understood.
At that stage of my life, I would have dreamed to be going down on a lover in a cinema. I was so far away from that. But anyway, still felt good to get all of that out.
Yeah, me too, girlfriend.
Also, doesn't it feel like in my mind, Billie Eilish is sort of like a sort of pop culture spiritual daughter, and everything about Billie Eilish, even though their music's not the same at all, there's something about her that reminds me. I imagine that the connection that teenagers have is like the Alanis connection that we had. And that there's no album that is more intensely nostalgic for me. I am back in year 11 and feeling everything that I was feeling back then.
But also bringing all those trivial things to the forefront is what is relief for me. Remembering back, I've been doing Dawson's Creek. I've been watching Dawson's Creek. My daughter's been watching Dawson's Creek. God, James Van Der Beek is annoying. But I think that all of us now, especially if you're of our age, let's say between the twilight of your 30s.
29 and 32.
Definitely 29. You're craving that time in your life where things were a bit simpler, and the biggest thing you were worried about was, how you were going to figure out how to drive past your crush's house and check if they're home, because there was no stalking online then, guys. You had to put in real effort to stalk someone. You had to actually stalk them.
You really did. You really did. And it was worth the effort. And by worth the effort, I mean completely pointless and torture.
Completely
that you
pointless.
Could still spend an entire year doing
Oh,
it. And
I
then
spent
Alanis would
hours.
sing about it.
And you'd sing as you were doing it. And I also I would also do those really complicated maths problems to work out my love percentage with the person I liked as well. Like, these were the things you did. There were no BuzzFeed quizzes. You worked out your name and their name and what percentage there was a chance that you would be in love. And I wasn't very good at maths.
I'm probably going to do that. Week 3 ISO, I'll be pulling it out.
Week 3 ISO.
Calculations.
All right. Well, look, thank you very much, Michael Lucas. You'll be back again, of course, next week, unless we did interrupt you talking about 5 Bedrooms, which is the show that you work on. You were taking a phone call from a very important executive. And I was like,
that makes me sound so important, but I actually was.
You actually were.
It's the first time it's happened the entire ISO.
Whatever.
But there we go. Yeah.
All right, mate. Well, stock up on hand sanitizer. Keep free of the Rona.
Do you have hand sanitizer? I don't. I just had to learn how to wash my hands for the first time in my life.
Mate, I'm Italian. I have been stockpiling unbeknownst to myself for about 10 years.
Oh, Jesus.
Just something I did naturally. Thank you very much, and we'll chat next week. It's time. I've got to get Scotty and go do my Scotty segment. Can you imagine?
I'm intrigued. Are you going to talk over the top of him, or are you going to give him free reign?
There's only one microphone,
talk over the
so...
top. Oh,
physically,
wow.
I know, I have to physically relinquish the microphone.
Okay, well, good luck with that. Good luck with
Thanks,
that.
honey.
May your marriage survive.
This is Emsulation.
Well, it's come to the useful portion of Emsulation. He sat down beside me, the man I share a bed with, I share my life with. Play the music. Oh, relaxation time. My husband Scott so often has to deal with my anxieties, and I thought he could maybe help you guys out. He's also does this as a job. He is a professional performance coach, and he is here today to solve all of your problems. Do you like your music?
Yeah, no, it's a bit stereotypical, isn't it?
Okay, guys, cut the music. So, Scott, welcome to Emsulation.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
It's good to be here. And you just had to walk from the kitchen to the old nursery.
So good.
I put it out on Instagram. I asked everyone, what problems would you like Scott to solve? I said, you can solve everyone's problems. You confident with that?
Yeah, felt really good about that for sure.
And the one I picked today, there was a theme. There was a very obvious underlying theme from all the answers. And the one I've picked today comes from Tammy.
Hi, I'm Tammy. I'm 38 years old from Melbourne and I'm a warrior. How do I stop worrying about things that are out of my control?
Now, is this something you're familiar with dealing with?
Yes, definitely.
Why is that?
Because you are sensitive to many concerns and therefore you can't always address all those concerns and therefore you feel upset about all that.
I'm upset about everything all the time.
That's right, exactly. So it's like, okay, there's a finite list of resources you have, even though you're amazing. You do have a finite list of capacity.
Yeah.
So
did we just get him saying I'm amazing? Just make sure we get that for the promo. Yeah, I'm getting a nod. Great.
That's right. And also the phrase finite list of capacity, isn't that sexy?
No, it's so zoning out. I'm zoning out. Come on.
So anyway, you get yourself overextended all the time.
Yeah. So I'm Tammy, and I'm probably 99% of women out there at the moment, and men. We're laying down at night and there are things that we just can't control that we are worrying about that are just consuming us. So I want you to give Tammy and everyone else some practical advice. And I know you don't like to give advice. Scott's like, I don't want to give advice. My job is to help people come to their own conclusions. Well, I don't care for that. You're going to tell people what to do today. Okay, so someone says to you, I'm a chronic over-worrier. What do you say to them?
Well, I'd be quickly looking at what things are within my control, what can I do that's inside my control, and what are the things that are outside. So almost like creating a list. So you become really aware. And then you've got to put, essentially, you're going to at some point need to put your attention and your efforts into focusing on what you can control. And that leaves a whole lot of other things that might be in your concern, you might be worried about, you're concerned about, but you go, well, I can't control them. I can't do anything about that. So I've got to let that go. So I've got to essentially, at some point, there's going to have to be an acceptance.
Yeah, but this is all buzzy. This is all buzzwordy. Smart people talk.
It's not buzzy.
No.
It's really, really good.
No, it's shit because, I mean, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
But it's shit because I need it to be easier. Okay. This is like when people tell me to meditate. I'm like, oh, God, that's so boring. And my mind races. So when you say make a list of things you can control, what do you mean? What things? What things can I control?
Well, you can respond. You can always control how you choose to respond to the circumstances that you dealt with, that you're paying attention to, the events of the world, the events of your life. You can always choose how you respond.
But I would argue with that. I can't choose. I would argue that everything hits my emotions first and my brain second. And I don't want it to be that way, but that's the truth. I can't control how I feel about things. I would argue with that.
Yeah, so at some point you recognise, okay, this is happening to me. I'm feeling these feelings. So then it's like, okay, noticing that and then creating a little bit of space to be able to go, okay, I'm noticing this is what I'm feeling. This is what's happening to me. So space, a bit of a breath, and then, okay, what do I want to do? What can I do that can help myself or this situation?
And is that things like don't read the news just before you lay down at night?
That would be an example of taking control about the information that comes into your brain.
Change the undies I've been wearing for the last 3 days.
That's also a good thing.
Great. Maybe make a list of things I'm grateful for.
Yes, for me that's in a slightly different family, but absolutely that's going to sort of help you view yourself and the world through a good lens, a helpful lens.
Okay, so if I'm wrapping this up and putting it in a nice little bite-sized podcast snippet, morsel, you're telling people that they need to completely observe how they're feeling, step away from it as though it's another person experiencing it. So give yourself space between the feelings and you as a person. Be okay with it, and also decide what things are realistically in your control and what things aren't.
Yes, and I think the key thing is that part of it can be easier, but it's about accepting those other things that you'd like to be different or that you'd like to change or you'd like to influence. But the bottom line is if you can't, then you have to breathe in and accept that and let that go. And then it's about practicing that so that you get good at focusing on what you can do and good at relaxing and letting go of what you can't do.
Okay, great. So, I mean, we're talking about I swing between things like, God, I'm never going to lose the baby weight from the third baby to, oh my goodness, I'm really worried about Beyonce getting sick. You know, those are things that I can't control, right? So I just need to just observe them and let them go.
Yeah, notice you're having those thoughts and then, well, what am I going to do about it? Because in the end, that's what else can you do? You can either keep playing that game, the monkey mind game of one thought swinging into another across the jungle, and all of a sudden you go, how the hell did I get this deep into the jungle? Or every now and then you can take a breath, you can climb above the canopy, have a look, and then work out where you're going.
Thank you very much. Well done. I know you're a bit nervous. You did great. You were very concise, a little bit, wordy, but
A little bit awesome.
sure we can edit that out. All right. Thank you so much. All right, guys, that's it for Ep 1 of Emsulation. See me swing into professional radio lady now. If you love the show, subscribe, tell your mates. We'll be back next Tuesday, and then every Thursday, Thursday, I'll be there in your ears with Michael, with Scotty. If you want to let me know a problem you'd like Scott to solve, just flick me an email, hello@mrussiano.com. Until next week, darlings, stay safe. Get down in lockdown. Bye-bye now.